Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name's AJ. Welcome to my new video. I'm going to be doing a full review of James Bond No Time to Die. There's no shilling here. There's no paid by the media. I'm not here to please anyone. I'll give you a complete honest review. Absolutely honest. Let's get this show on the road. So I'm going to be putting this review into different categories. What makes my film reviews different from everyone else? I'm going to be putting a woke category in there, and that's going to be one of the first categories I'm putting reviewing any films out there, because this woke category I believe is very important, and it kind of tells you whether it's worth watching or not based on its woke factors. And then I'm also going to be talking about the opening scene and the ending. There will be spoilers, guys, so be careful. And I'm also going to be talking about the characters and the actual film, and overall I'll give it a score out of 10. So regarding the plot, guys, this is absolutely ridiculous. It's the worst plot I've ever heard in a James Bond film. The plot is basically somebody releasing coronavirus, or creating coronavirus in a lab, and they're weaponizing it and they're about to release it to the whole world. It's absolutely stupid, it's absolutely ridiculous, and it's obviously against China. They're trying to put a message against China. I'm not kidding with you guys. Absolutely coronavirus kind of shit. The plot makes no sense whatsoever, guys. Okay, it's not exactly coronavirus, but you can see where they're heading with. It's actually nanobots that, infect the bloodstream, and is permanent. Once it infects you, it basically attacks people with certain DNA, and other people are safe, but certain people are not safe. And it's really stupid, guys. And it's basically coronavirus created in a lab and being released to the whole world. And the main bad guy, he obviously makes no sense either. I mean, first of all, they put all these scars around his face, and it's a complete trope of, James Bond villains, from the 60s and 70s, where they used to have scars in their faces, and when you look at them, they're a villain. It's absolutely stupid. It's a dumb trope. They're happy to go along with the woke feminism crap, but when it comes to Bond villains, no, they want to go back to 60s and 70s and 80s and use the tropes where they're really ugly and they're really scarred, and they're really evil, and his motivations make no sense whatsoever. It just goes to show these feminists and woke activists would write a really good female character, and she has to be a certain way. She needs no training. She needs not to be saved by a man. She needs to do everything a man can do, but better. But when it comes to writing bad guys, and he's absolutely ridiculous, absolutely stupid. So this guy, right, think about it. This guy, when he was a kid, his whole family gets blown into smithereens by the leader of Spectre. I can't remember his name. And he's obviously scarred because of it, and he goes for revenge. And somehow he becomes a billionaire. Somehow he's able to create these nanobots. And for some reason, he wants to release these nanobots to the whole world, so he can rule the world and control the world and kill millions and innocent people. It just makes no sense, guys. I mean, his family was killed by the leader of Spectre, and he managed to get his revenge. He managed to kill Spectre later on in the film, but it doesn't make any sense why he wants to destroy the world as well. Seriously, get a life. Seriously, go get a girlfriend. Do something with your life. There's no need for all that ridiculousness. Seriously, if I was in issues and somebody killed my parents, and obviously I'll want to have revenge against the person that killed my parents, not kill the whole world because I'm so angry about it. That's really dumb, guys. Really dumb. That's one of the things I don't like about the film. So the plot itself, I'd give it 3 out of 10, and the blonde villain, I'd give it probably 4 out of 10. His acting was okay, wasn't the greatest, but yeah, 4 out of 10. Actually, guys, I'm going to be starting with the things I like about the film, so I'll get that out of the way, and then I'll talk about the rest of the film. Overall, I thought it was so-so. Probably less than average, to be honest. I would give the film 5 out of 10. And this is the reasons why. So the first reason, the things I liked about the film, the opening scene. Opening scene, I would give the film 10 out of 10. The opening scene is probably one of the best opening scenes I've seen in any Bond film. That is a reason in itself to watch the film, because the opening scene, the first half an hour, I believe, is some of the best in terms of location, in terms of acting, the plot, the characters, the action, everything about it. I just thought, wow, this is one of the best Bond opening scenes I've ever seen, and it is up there amongst the best. And when you see this opening scene, you think, wow, this is exactly what I want from a Bond film, exactly what I'm looking for. I mean, it doesn't have the best action you have seen or the stunts, but the whole overall scene, the way it's been acted, the emotions, I just thought it's amazing. It's shot in Italy, background locations and everything. It's just very realistic action scenes as well, very realistic emotions, and you actually feel something watching it. And I was at the edge of my seat, and the first half an hour I did really think, wow, this is one of the best opening scenes I've seen. So yeah, overall I would give it 10 out of 10, the overall scenes. Unfortunately, the film starts taking a dramatic downturn after that, with its wokeness, and that's where I'm going to head on to next. So the next scene of the film, we're introduced to Lashana Lynch, and she's a coloured woman who's replaced Daniel Craig or James Bond as 007, which is a bit stupid really, because if you think about it, if you join a company and you're given an employment number, 007 is like an employment number. You're assigned this number, and that is your number for life. And if you decided to leave, or someone else comes and replaces you, they replace you with 008, 009, 010, 011. That's how it works. It's an individual number for that individual person. You cannot have another person with your same employee numbers if you join a company. How the hell are you gonna distinguish one employee from the next based on the employee number? It doesn't work like that. When you save a person's details on a database, you can't have two people with the same employee number. It's a unique number for that person. So technically it's a bit stupid. It wouldn't really happen in real life, but I'll give them that. So the whole part of the second film is basically introducing Lashana's character. He's in a club and he's meeting his old acquaintance, and then he comes out of the club and his car's broken down. Lashana's obviously broken it down. So she comes next to him with a scooter, and she's like, jump in, and he's like, woohoo, I hit the jackpot. And so he jumps in the back with her, and she's like, grab me, don't fall off, grab me tight. So he's like a little pansy at the back, and she takes him to his flat, and she's like, oh, nice flat, let's go to the bedroom. And she walks straight into the bedroom. So he's thinking, this girl's a bit forward. So he goes to the bedroom, and she takes off her wig, and it's like, and he's like, oh, you're better off with the wig, love. You were much more attractive with the wig on. So to be honest, Lashana Lynch as Bond, guys, she does not go. She does not deserve the mantle of 007. Mainly for a number of reasons. They've obviously put her in there for diversity purposes. Not only do they put a woman in there, they put like a black woman in there, and she's obviously, I'm not going to say she's skinny, and she's not fat, but she is a bit plus sized. She's definitely not your usual body, thin and athletic, things like that. And in terms of looks, she's an average black woman. I wouldn't say she's ugly, but she's not good looking either. I would class her as the average, looker as a black woman. So for her to take up the 007 mantle, guys, it's not, it doesn't suit her at all. The 007, when you think about 007, you think Bond, and you think Bond, he's a handsome guy, he's got a great body, he's very athletic. Not only that, he's charismatic, he's charming, he's suave, he's intelligent. She is none of that, guys. She comes across as, she comes across as really weird, feminist, man hater. She comes across really annoying, and yeah, I just didn't like her character at all. I just did not like her character. So when she meets him, she says, "Look, I'm the new 007. I've replaced you. They've given me 007. Nah, 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 nah." That's what she says in the beginning, and she's trying to rub her face, obviously on the 007 mantle. She's like, "I've got the 007 now. Nah, 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 nah." And Bond is like, "Oh, okay. Don't really care, love." And she's like, "Stay in your lane, Mr. Bond. If you come across what I'm doing, I'm gonna shoot you in the knee, the one that works." So this is going back to, I think it was GoldenEye or one of the films when Bond was talking about somebody shooting him in his knee. I can't remember. This was a long time ago. So this is probably where this comes from. This is like a continuation of from GoldenEye, where somebody shot him in the knee, and he's only got one working knee. So she's kind of threatening him to shoot him on the other knee if he kind of messes around. So he's like, "Oh, okay, love, okay, love." So she's obviously being very feminist. She's not very charming at all. She's quite rude, and she's like, "Stay out my way, Mr. Bond. Just stay out my way." And throughout the film, she's in it a lot. I mean, she isn't in it for more than what I would have liked, to be honest. She's in probably every other scene. She's in it about 40% of the film. He's in it about 60%. So she is in it a lot, and you can tell she isn't in there to put that woke part of it, and which I don't really like. Really, it's just kind of forcing feminist stuff in your face. And yeah, she's just like, look guys, Bond can be a woman as well, and she can just about kick ass just as much as Bond. But that's not the point, guys. That really isn't the point. And she's also got all the gadgets and stuff. The point is, Bond is not just about gadgets and not about being male or female. He's a super spy. He's a fantasy every man wants to be. When Ian Fleming wrote those books, it was a man's fantasy, really, and they're just trying to destroy that fantasy, like they've destroyed all other male fantasies. I'm talking about He-Man. I'm talking about Terminator. I'm talking about Conan. I'm talking about so many, Star Wars, especially Luke Skywalker. I'm talking about so many, male heroes that you've grown up with. These feminists or SJWs are on a mission to destroy these male characters and replace them with women, and equally strong women characters. So this brings, so in terms of characters, I give her 2 out of 10, to be honest. Bond, in terms of his acting and his character in this film, I'll give him like 4 out of 10, because he's not the same Bond that you're kind of used to. This is more like the pansy Bond, the girly, in touch with his emotions Bond. So he's not the real James Bond that you're used to. The first half an hour of the film it was, but the rest of the film is pretty much, subservient to the women, really. And these women do not get saved by him. In fact, these women, all the women in the film are strong women, and they all save him as opposed to the other way around. And even his, I'm going to be spoiling the film, right? Even his wife and his child at the end, he doesn't save them. Lashana saves them. So the Bond is not allowed to save any women in the film. Not even allowed to save his wife. Not even allowed to save his daughter. So he, it's only women saving other women. It's just how it works, and that's the kind of wokeness that you see in a lot of films. The next part of the film, we're introduced to another character, Ana de Armas. And Ana de Armas, she actually looks like a Bond girl. She's, beautiful, intelligent, She can kick ass. And I would say this is probably one of the most enjoyable parts of the Bond film as well. As well as the opening scene, the scenes with her was some of the best, really. And she definitely does kick ass. And there's a bit where, she's wearing a, very low cut dress and she's flying around doing flying kicks to people, doing, splits and kicks and kung fu kicks. And it's great because it was really sexy and she really kicked ass. Not only that, she was very charismatic, she was very charming, she's very likable. And in the beginning, she goes to Bond. Basically, she's only had 3 weeks training, and Bond is like, "Oh, don't worry, I'll look after you, girl. Don't worry." And in the end, she ends up saving his ass a couple of times, really. And he's like, "Only 3 weeks training?" She's like, "Yeah, more or less." And she's obviously joking with him. She wanted to, pull the wool over his eyes and say, he just to make him think that she needs saving, and she's just a pretty girl that she can't look after herself, so she's looking at Bond to kind of look after her and stuff. She's obviously kind of having a joke with him. He believed it, but in the end, he realized, she's one girl you don't mess around with. So I liked her character. In terms of wokeness, I thought this kind of wokeness works. It's funny, it's engaging, it's not what you expect, and it works. Unfortunately, guys, it's a big unfortunately, is she's only in the film for about 15-20 minutes and that's it, because the Hollywood elite and the Hollywood SJWs, no, they can't have a pretty girl with a sexy body taking over Lashana's role or taking over the film. So no, we only can give her 20 minutes and that's it, and get rid of her, because these are the same SJWs who don't want to have beautiful women in catwalks like Victoria's Secret, because goes against the SJW rule. You need to have average looking women in there, you need to have fat women in there, plus women in there, and that's what wokeness is, guys. But you can't have a beautiful woman taking over the scene, taking over the film. So no, we'll give her like 20 minutes and that's it, and get rid of her. We don't want the shine to be taken away from Lashana Lynch, So yeah, get rid of her. So that's the shitty thing about woke, really. The good things about woke is doing it in a way where you don't expect, or you like it, or or it's unexpected, or it's funny. Then it's great, it works. But the fact that they only put her in for such a short time just shows these feminists are very jealous of her looks and what she can do, and they said no, we can't have that. We definitely can't have that, and so they got rid of her. And so it's a bit of a shame, really. And there was a bit where James Bond is they go to some room, and she's asking him to take his clothes off, and he's like, "Oh, I got a bit lucky," and he's like, "Oh, are you sure you want to do this? I didn't expect this, and are you sure this is the right time to do stuff like that?" She's like, "No, no. I just want you to change into this tux. Don't get the wrong idea." And again, it's quite funny. It's quite good. It's like Bond is expecting a quick shag, but she's like, no, ew, that's disgusting. I just want you to put this on. That's all. Don't get too happy. So yeah, things like that. It's funny. It's good. So that part of the scene where Ana de Armas is with him, and they fight and they kick ass. I thought that scene was pretty entertaining, to be honest, and I'll give that scene 8 out of 10. Ana de Armas' character, I'll give her 9 out of 10, because I think she's the best character in the film, to be honest. Better character than Bond and Lashana and every other character in there. So I'll give her character 9 out of 10. So let's move on, shall we? So the next part of the film, it talks about his ex-wife, and he finds out he's got a daughter. Initially, he thinks he's his daughter, but his ex-wife says, no, she's not your daughter. But he can tell she's lying to him, because his daughter's got the same eyes as him. So he can definitely tell that she's lying. And there's a couple of car chase scenes as well. And the car chase scenes were pretty good. They're in the forest, and I thought it was pretty well done. Good action there, and I'll give that car chase scene about 7 out of 10. Some good action there, and there's some stuff about the plot, and it goes back to head office, and there's a lot of boring stuff going on. Third part of the film. Lashana Lynch is there, and she's obviously keeps rubbing it in that she's a 007, she's a 007, and he comes back into the office and he gets reassigned, and she's like, "Oh, what number did you give him, by the way?" And she kept asking for it. It's like, "What number did you give? What number did you give?" It's like really immature. Seriously, get a life. Seriously, you put somebody like that in MI5. She's the top spy, and she's worried about what number did he get his 007 back again? She's really worried about it. It's just really petty. It's just really stupid. She kept asking for it about 3-4 times. And I just thought, look, just shut up, woman. Just do your job. It's just a number, for God's sakes. That's why I think this is obviously written by some SJWs and stuff. And these SJWs, they don't know how to write a proper, intelligent conversation or character. So all of this crap is there. So yeah, I just didn't like it really. And this Lashana Lynch is obviously quite young, and she doesn't have much experience by the looks of it. She's very immature, but then she can kick ass. She can kick ass more than James Bond, and it's just it's like the Rey character from Star Wars. You got Luke Skywalker and all these other characters who've been training all their lives. Even James Bond, with all his experiences that he's had in his life, and all the wars he's gone through, and all the trials and tribulations he's gone through. So he's obviously built up his skills and experience throughout the various missions throughout his life. Then she comes along, and she comes out of nowhere, and she's immediately better than him in every aspect. It's just not right, and it's just not fair. It just reminds me of Star Wars with Rey. Bestest ever. She's the bestest ever. No training required. So she's just immediately the bestest ever. That's just stupid, and that's the typical SJW woke shit. Anyway, let's carry on. So we're coming up to the final part of the film. His wife gets kidnapped, his daughter gets kidnapped, and they get taken to some island off the coast of Japan and Russia, one of the disputed islands, not far from the South China Sea and East China Sea, to be honest. And Bond obviously wants to go there, and Lashana's like, "I'll come with you. Oh, by the way, can Bond take his 007 back, please?" And M is like, "Yeah, sure, request accepted." There is no bloody reason why she would give the 007 name back to Bond. It just doesn't make any sense. And who cares? What does it matter? Bond doesn't care. He doesn't care if she's got 007. He even calls her 007 a few times. He knows it's just a number. He doesn't really care. So why does she make such a big deal out of it? Why does she want to give it back to him? It just makes no sense. I think this film, they got a bit overboard with the number 007, and they just probably got really obsessed with it, and it just, after a while, it gets boring, to be honest. So at the end of the film, they break into this disputed island. Oh, before I talk about that, I want to also talk about a couple of other woke parts in the film. You remember the part where he's sitting at the back of a bike or back of a scooter that she drives, and there's a part also he's in a passenger seat of his own Aston Martin, where she's driving an Aston Martin and he's in the passenger seat, and obviously that is a middle finger to all the men out there that basically women can drive Aston Martins, and these men need to sit in the passenger seat and shut up. And the third part is she's also driving a plane that she's never drove before, and it reminds me of Rey from Last Jedi and Star Wars, that she's been living in a desert planet all these years, and suddenly she can, ride boats, and she can ride spaceships, and she can drive the Millennium Falcon better than Han Solo. And this reminds me exactly of that, where she can fly a plane that she's never flown before. And Bond is at the back, she's at the front, and she's doing all the work. And it's just ridiculous, guys. Really stupid. Come on, I've seen this so many times, so many films. They've done it hundreds of times. They've done it in Star Wars. They've done it in other films. It just gets boring, guys. Seriously. Yeah, I know women are great. Women can do things better than men, but don't force it. It's just forcing it. It's just stupid. Anyway, those were the kind of woke parts I didn't like. And so we go to the final end part of the film, and they're killing all these henchmen. That the main bad guy, he's basically built some sort of poison palace. He makes poison in there, and there's a mad scientist in there, Russian scientist, that they're trying to capture. And there's one bit in the film where this Russian scientist, she's trying to save him, by the way, and he says something about killing all her race, and obviously he's being a bit racist. So again, we're going back to this woke trope that, racism against black women and all that crap. So she turns around, she goes, "Time to die," and she kicks him and kills him. So, I just thought it's really, really funny. So she's trying to save this guy throughout the whole film, right? And just because he says something racist or remotely racist, she turns around and kills him. And the way she kills him is like, "Time to die." It's like, if she was a villain, she would make the greatest villain, I'm telling you. And she kills him like, I don't know if you've seen the film 300, where you got Leonardis basically saying, "I am Sparta!" And he kicks these guys into these, wells, these bottomless pits. And that's what she does to this scientist. And this scientist is not even armed. He's not even dangerous. She turns around and she turns around and goes, "Time to die." And it's like that film, "I am Sparta." She kicks him in his chest, and he goes flying and he dies in this poisoned water or something. It's absolutely ridiculous. And I was in the cinema, and I could swear people were laughing their heads off. I don't think that bit was supposed to be funny, but people were just laughing how dumb it was and how stupid it was. So anyway, let's carry on. So we're coming up to another film, and his wife and his daughter were kidnapped. So he tries to save them, and he doesn't save them. Lashana Lynch saves them, because Bond is not allowed to save any women. Women don't need saving by Bond, nor even his own daughter. So Lashana Lynch saves them. He kills a few henchmen along the way. Lashana kills quite a few henchmen along the way, and basically they call in the airstrike from a ship, and so everyone's escaping the island, and Bond has to stay behind because he needs to open some blast doors, otherwise the poison stuff is not going to be destroyed. So he has to stay behind, and the main bad guy is also behind there as well, and they're having a fight at the end, and the bad guy poisons Daniel Craig, Bond. He poisons him, and Bond kills him in return. But this poison obviously is permanent. He can't get rid of it. And so this comes to another stupid part of the film, guys. This is really stupid. So he calls for an airstrike, and basically it's a British ship just off the Russian coast, disputed waters between Russia and Japan. If this happened real life, do you think Russia's not going to retaliate? So this ship is firing missiles into the disputed island, right? If that happened in real life, Russia would destroy that ship out of the sky. It would literally destroy it within minutes. Then they will declare war on UK, and you will see Russian ships and missiles heading all the way to UK if that really happened in real life. There is no stupid way, a ship would be stupid enough to fire missiles at a disputed island that Russia owns. It's the same thing. They could have. And this ship is obviously in the East China Sea. It's a British ship I'm talking about. And it's in the East China Sea, and it's just firing missiles in these disputed waters. Like you own the world. You do not own the world. It's so stupid. It's it's really dumb. And the funny thing is, there's something that British ships would probably do. They go around the South China Sea, East China Sea. They go around the Russian coast near Crimea. It's something that they would probably do. It's really stupid, But if it happens, then that ship is not going to live. It's going to be blown out the water. Then basically you're talking about a war with the Russia. That is not going to happen in real life, and that is really stupid. And the fact that they do this in this film, it just shows how stupid these directors are and how stupid Hollywood is, that they can get away with doing shit like that. How would you like it if a Chinese ship goes, basically there's some, let's say there's some disputed islands between Australia or something, and suddenly this Chinese ship starts firing missiles into these disputed islands near Australia. What do you think Australia's going to do? Australia's going to be calling his big brother, like America. They'll be like, yeah, let's start a war. They're firing missiles towards us. America will start throwing bombs. Australia will start throwing bombs. It's just the start a war. It's just absolutely ridiculous, guys. It's not going to happen in real life. Anyway, Bond gets poisoned, and he goes to the top of the building, and these missiles come and hit him, and he dies, basically. So he's dead. Bond is dead, and everyone else lives. Lashana lives, his ex-wife lives, and his daughter lives. And by the way, his ex-wife, she plays very similar characters, and I remember her in Mission Impossible. She plays a very similar character, and she dies in that. So every time I see her in this, it reminds me of the dead character in Mission Impossible, where she gets killed quite badly. But anyway, that's beside the point. So going back to this film, guys, Bond dies, and this reminds me of Star Wars: Last Jedi, where they kill off Luke Skywalker, and it's a complete SJW trope where they like to kill off these male matriarchies, white supremacists, white men, and they want to give all the credit to the women. So this very much reminds me of Last Jedi, where they kill off Luke Skywalker. So you focus on Rey as a character, and I'm just fed up with it. Why do they have to kill off these male characters that have been around for generations just to give a spotlight to the female characters? It just makes no sense, and they've done it so many times, and I'm bored of it, and I'm fed up of it. The only difference between Bond's death and Luke Skywalker's death is Luke Skywalker dies like a chump, and at least they gave Bond a good death. This death is a good death, right? But they killed off Luke Skywalker like a chump, like a coward, and it was so dumb the way they killed him off. But at least they gave Daniel Craig or Bond a good death, so I'll give him that. So ending of the film, I'll give it probably 6 out of 10. And my overall thoughts of the film, I'd probably give it 6 out of 10 as well, based on everything I've seen. Like I said, the starting part of the film is really good. The bits with Ana de Armas is very good. The rest of the film is pretty average. And the ending was pretty good. It was quite emotional when he died. Yeah, a lot of people did like the ending. They probably didn't expect him to die, but I expected him to die, because I've seen it all before in all of these woke SJW films where they kill off the main character, the male character, and they want to give all the credit to the female character. So I've seen it before, so I knew he was going to die. So that's my overall review of the film. Let me know what you guys think, and let me know if this review has been helpful to you. So I'll see you in the next video, guys, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye. And without further ado,